So I got bored of Minecraft and decided we were going to switch it up. So today is a Sons of the Forest video, which is, I've never beat this game. This is supposed to be scary, and, maybe you'll get some funny screams and some funny spook out of this game. So, yeah, into the intro cinematic. This is the longest fucking helicopter ride ever. Oh, was I supposed to be looking at this? E. Oh, that's why. Immediately after hitting E, the helicopter went down faster than Lizzo after jumping into a pool. We then narrowly escaped falling out of a crashing helicopter onto a mountain, then dodging said helicopter. Kobe might disagree with the realism here, but anyways, I digress. I'm not sure who the spaceman is, but it looks like he really doesn't like me. I then woke up completely unscathed and did what was most logical in this situation. Pick up a rock and throw it. Bush would be proud. Pulled out my tools, found 2 balls of love, and met this pathetic man writhing on the floor. But picked him up because, sadly, he would be my only company for the entirety of the playthrough, and I might brown my pants if he wasn't with me. I then finished borrowing all the loot in the area and told Kelvin to follow me down this mountain so I could keep him as an indentured servant. I just didn't tell him the last part. We began trekking down the mountain, headed for the beaches of Normandy, because the coast is where most of the beginner story stuff is, and everything else terrifies me and increases the odds of me browning my pants. But we eventually left the mountains and entered the forest. Found this warm and wet dark hole, which normally would interest me, but at the moment, no thank you. So we went to this lake to build a house for me and Kelvin to start a family. First I tried to assault a squirrel, and then I got to chopping wood so Kelvin and I could have a roof over our heads, and so the cannibals wouldn't inappropriately touch us while we were sleeping. On second thought, now that I think about that, I might leave the door open at night, cause that doesn't sound half bad. Kelvin was being more of a hindrance than a help at this point, so I sent him to work to collect some nice, hard, throbbing wood for me. Nothing weird about that, it's just maple. I continued chopping more wood than a lumberjack on crack and then split the wood in half as soon as I got back. Bars. Get me in the studio. Finally, the house is slowly starting to take shape, and I say slowly because Kelvin takes approximately 10 hours to cut down one damn tree and then proceeds to throw the wood wherever he pleases.
And with that, we built the first wall. Quite frankly, it's the best wall, and the best part is, we're gonna make the cannibals pay for it. And apparently my talent of impressions does not include Trump, so
here's me getting mad that I can't build a sign instead. So I finished the house off screen because I couldn't think of any more wood jokes, made a fire for Kelvin and I to snuggle next to, popped some pills and shrooms, and proceeded to trip all the way to the beach to get our first story item. Yeah, that's what we'll call it. I found this guy sleeping at the beach and found a rail for the story item we're going to use later. I killed the turtle, which was already seasoned thanks to the Starbucks straws floating around in his gut, and I proceeded to accidentally eat him raw. Anyway, I turned into Michael Phelps and swam across the ocean to get to this floating life raft to acquire the story item. I collected the story item when I noticed... Why propose like that? Anyways, I turned on the jets and went swimming back to shore. Kelvin, of all people, was the first thing to make me truly brown my pants this playthrough, as he was just standing there menacingly, and I didn't know it was him. With the story item acquired and Kelvin in tow, it was time to visit a familiar friend, the warm, wet, and dark hole. But we have to get the rebreather first, and I cannot remember exactly where that cave is. All I know is it's on the beach. On our way there, we bumped into these totems, which were pretty damn cheeked up, but you didn't hear that from me. As we continued walking, I started to lose confidence in the fact that the rebreather cave was to the northeast, so I decided to take a pit stop at the I on the map, which stands for interesting. Upon further inspection of the video, that I is actually an exclamation mark, and I am entirely an idiot, or dyslexic, or the more likely of the two, both. We approached the upside down eye, and I finally got the chance to use the story item for the first time. I think I killed it, but I never saw the body, and I found a cross and then some Amanita muscaria mushrooms. My lawyer has advised me not to say how or why I know about different strains of psychedelic mushrooms, but, I found $22, which is more than I have in my savings, killed some more turtles, and then began borrowing all the stuff around this camp. One of those things being this little unicycle called the Night V, which significantly sped up the pace of my exploration. I rode the night down to the beach and found a lot more stuff to borrow before we ventured to the rebreather cave. I hopped back on the Night V and began riding to the northeast. Now, little did I know, I was heading in the right direction, but I second-guessed myself so much that I looked up a guide. Now, the guide said that the cave was on the northwest beach, so logically I started going to the southwest, which makes no sense, only to realize that there isn't a northwest beach, and the guide was wrong. And now I essentially doubled back for no reason. So I hit some rocks, landed on my head, and finally got some sense in my skull to turn around and go all the way. After riding around for a little bit, I came to the realization that we were right there, man! But it's okay, we're here now, and that's all that matters. Finally, after years of no action, I was able to enter a warm, wet, and dark hole, and proceeded to jam my hands into every crevice of it. There were bones, dead bodies, and an email that Hillary must have left in here, which I must say is a first. I pulled out the story item of Detroit, and it was time for the fun to ensue. Yeah, you can't get me with that. Oh, I see some. Everything was fine until this happened, and things started to spiral out of control.
Weak.
No. I'm not going down this easy.
That was a fucking lie.
I contemplated quitting, but then I remembered how much I didn't want to make another video, and went in there ready to rumble. I made another torch, borrowed all the stuff again, and then totally forgot about the bat jump scare. Alright, you got me that time. Pants are browned. Okay.
Ready.
Okay, conservatively is not an option here.
I made light work of the first room with the Glock and then skinned them to create an outfit of flesh. I'm sure they'll be fine. They don't really need the skin, they weren't really using it anyways. I'll post a version of this on the hub without Steve Harvey. Anyways, I put my skin suit on, literally, and continued through the cave.
I'm already looking way better than we did the last time. I think we got him.
I continued venturing forward when I found some abandoned babies, as you do, and decided to spawn kill them and put them out of their misery. Not because they were babies, but because they were trying to kill me. I effectually answered the age-old question of how many 4-year-olds could you take in a fight with a resounding none, because I couldn't hit any of the little shits as they had more hops than anybody in the NBA. Somebody should have drafted these babies before I finally got my aim on and struck them down and lit them on fire. I really hope no one clips any of this out of context. I then found a leather jacket and a stun gun, which is cool too, I guess, but nothing else happened but walking between the rebreather in this point, and since most of America is obese, they'd probably find me walking in a video game a chore as well, so I'm just gonna jump to the rebreather. Man, oh man, do I ever love making offensive jokes to cover up my lazy editing. Oh, nice. I left the cave to find somebody turned out all the lights, and I wasn't about to bumble around aimlessly in the dark, even though I tend to do that after a long night out. But there aren't cannibals at the bars, at least none that I know of, and it gave me and Kelvin, who decided to wait outside of the cave while I did all the damn work, to have a romantic fire on the beach. With the lights back on now, it's time to head back to the base camp because the rope gun cave is super close to where we set up shop. Plus, I wanted to save at the house just in case things went awry like they did in the last cave. But considering I've got pretty much unlimited skin armor, so long as I continue killing, knocking out and skinning alive? Wait, that's much worse. Anyways, killing the cannibals, I'll be fine. Now it's time for the next cave. I found a flashlight on my adventures and came in with a new air of confidence and bigger balls than ever. I found some ice on these guys' wrists and stole them. I'm sure they won't mind for hopefully obvious reasons. I began making some Molotov cocktails. The 4th of July is only 310 days away, and I'd like to celebrate early. I found this room filled with a bunch of gremlins scurrying about and decided it was time to rain American patriotism down upon them, starting with some flares so I could actually see 10% of what I'm doing. And judging by how dark the video is, you probably can see about 1% of that 10% of what I'm doing. I know Molotovs are Russian, but as an American, we tend to take other cultures as our own, and that's exactly what I'll be doing here. And now I'll be taking more than just culture, by stealing all of their skin for yet another skin suit, as I lost all of the skin from the last cave. Once again, I'm sure they won't be needing this skin for obvious reasons. I found another one of Hillary's emails, and apparently she has a rock fetish. Anyways, I kept walking and immediately was greeted by the skinniest American I've ever seen. I continued pressing onwards through the cave and began to bump into more scary, so I decided to throw some of my balls of love I found at the start of the video at them. I found yet another email which stated they were in total darkness. You don't say. After that, I was jumped by a gang of goobers, so I hit them with the Compton Crossfire and then eventually ran out of bullets, so I resorted to all my training from chopping down trees earlier to now chop down some limbs. I ventured onwards and found a guy surrounded by pills and vodka. This guy definitely knows how to party. I ran into another one of those ribcage freaks, but since I was out of bullets, I had to resort to using the stun gun, which for whatever reason the character holds like an absolute gangster. So I zapped the ribcage beast and then thumped it to death with my axe. I really should have worn brown underwear when I started playing this game, but I don't own any. Well, I didn't own any. Anyway, I trudged along, pants soiled, and finished off a few more babies before I finally found the rope gun, which will allow us to go to the Shovel Cave location and start digging up the secret laboratories to start doing more main story beats. This is all I've got for now, though, and if you like what I do, I implore you to subscribe, as I don't make money off these videos, but seeing you guys enjoy them makes me want to make more. And apparently, some of you guys find me funny, so if I made you laugh, like and subscribe, and if I didn't, well, still do it, and I'll blow you a kiss through the screen. See you soon.